This nursery at Centre Place in Southend provides daycare for up to 80 children. Staff at the nursery welcome children with disabilities and additional needs and work with parents and guardians to ensure that their children's needs are met.
Marcus is 4 years old and is a twin. Marcus was diagnosed last April with cerebral palsy, and been quite hard for us to cope with the twins, obviously, so very different in their development. But yeah, since we've known from diagnosis, the play school has really supported us.
When children with special needs first attend the nursery, there's a period of observation to establish what support they require.
Well, first of all, we will show the parent around and let the parent decide whether this is the right setting for the children. And once they've said to us, yes, this is where we would like the child to come, then we will have meetings with the area SENCO, our setting SENCO, and find out what the child's actual needs are. And then we will progress after that. We will ascertain and observe them for a fortnight, and then we will request extra help if we need it. And we will go to all sorts of outside agencies, and they will hold a team around the child meeting where all these different agencies are invited in, and they will discuss, and we will work out what the particular child's needs are so that we can encompass it into the nursery.
In Marcus's case, it was decided that he needed one-to-one support to help him join in fully with activities.
And what the one-to-one does is she doesn't overcrowd him, she doesn't, sort of like pick him up here, there and everywhere. She allows him to have his independence, which he has grown so much now. Such an independent little boy for somebody who does have cerebral palsy.
Because of his mobility problems, I'm just here to sort of watch him, make sure he doesn't get into any danger. He's quite independent, but because he might pull himself up on furniture or even on other children, I'm just here to make sure he doesn't hurt himself or anyone else. And I just play with him, but as part of a group so that he's integrated with everyone.
Marcus's development is closely monitored to ensure that he continues to make progress.
We meet once every 6 weeks, myself, the one-to-one and the manager here, and we meet and we write down plans and we say this is where he's at, this is what we want him to do and how we're going to achieve that. For instance, he wasn't too keen on going outside at first when he first came here, obviously because he would be crawling around, his knees would get cut, his hands were blistered. So we introduced a walking frame. Again, that was support for the centre here and the staff, saying getting some walking aids so he can enjoy outdoor activities.
When he first came here, he was crawling everywhere. And now, it took a bit of persuading to get him to use his walking frame. And now he knows, for example, to come outside, he needs his walking frame because he can't really crawl out here. And we're sort of working on actually trying to walk without as much support. So I might hold one hand and he'll sort of try to walk along. So yeah, it's definitely improved a lot.
Little things, teaching him how to paint, standing up and paint, still holding on to his frame, rather than kneeling all the time, it's uncomfortable for him. We had a situation last week when it's reading time. Marcus loses all concentration at reading time. Obviously that's a big skill they need to learn to listen. And we decided that maybe sitting on the floor wasn't comfortable for him. So we just simply brought in a beanbag and now he absolutely loves reading time. Yeah, because obviously we sit uncomfortable, you get agitated, don't you? You want to leave the environment. But yeah, so that's something that I have learned. And I was thinking about the other day. When he goes to primary school and he goes to assembly, maybe sitting on the floor isn't ideal for him. Maybe we'll have to have a beanbag or a chair. So every day we're learning something new. And the team here always working towards making him the most comfortable in all activities and educational roles that they, have to do. Yes.
Sophie was born with a cleft palate and other complications which have made it difficult for her to eat and to talk. She's fitted with a tube peg and has to be attended to by nursery staff.
Well, Sophie is peg fed and she has to be flushed out 3 times a day. So what we do is, while she's playing and she's distracted, we give her a quick flush out. It doesn't affect her in any way. And you slowly flush the sterilised water to give her a drink.
For Sophie's mother and father, finding a suitable nursery setting meant getting agreement from staff to look after her special health needs.
We started thinking about nursery places about a year and a half, and whereas we had regular primary care nurses coming in for Sophie's wellbeing, they suggested maybe we should look downstairs, which is the nursery here, and they decided then that they could meet Sophie, the nursery staff this is, and see what could be done. And we had a meeting with them and they said, yes, we can deal with this, it's not a problem. All we need to do is get in contact with your primary care nurse and ask her if she could come in and teach them how to take care of the site and the tube itself. They dealt with this and we're here now, and we haven't looked back since because we've had no problems with it and they're very capable and competent with it.
A paediatric nurse came in to train us, and also the parents have come in and shown us, and it's something we've been doing since September, since she started, so something you just get used to doing.
Why did Sophie's parents choose a mainstream setting rather than more specialist alternatives?
We thought to ourselves, if we get Sophie into a setting where she's got lots of other children with her speaking and communicating, then she'll pick up on this and she'll realise that that's what I need to do, that's what I should do. And so far, it's got a lot better.
Sophie's come on leaps and bounds. She is now mixing with other children, which she didn't do when she first came in, and she was born with a cleft palate, so she didn't actually make any sounds or talk. But now, with the help of the other children and the adults and working with her, she's now forming words, making sounds. She's, as you can hear her, and she's mixing with the other children.
And in terms of Sophie's broader development, the nursery takes part in regular team around the child meetings, which ensures that the support of different professionals is fully integrated.
We have bi-monthly meeting where we have people from the nursery come, we have people from the primary care trust, from the nurses come, we have people from the council come to do with Sophie's wellbeing, and that there's about 8 or 9 people in our house at one point sitting down and saying, what can we do for Sophie now? What does Sophie need? How can her life be improved, or how can your lives be improved by improving Sophie's? So it's fantastic, it really is. I can't fault them, really.
Supporting parents of children with additional needs includes putting in place the right financial provision, and here the nursery is able to advise and point families in the right direction.
Southend at the moment have got 73 places for 2-year-old funding. Some of it is done on the child's actual needs and some of it is done on the finances of the family. And with the 2 children that attend our setting, the families needed that extra financial support to enable the children to come to nursery. And then the children will move on to 3-year-old funding that all children are able to have the term after they're 3.
Professional child-centred nursery care not only benefits children with additional needs, it also provides vital support for parents so that they can manage their lives more effectively.
When they came here, it was just a few hours a day for me to be able to have a little bit of respite. And it is respite when you have a child with special needs. It's a respite anyway when your child goes to play school. But just to have somebody else say, we can help you with that role. We can make things a little bit better for you. That was an amazing, and when the first day they came here actually, it was just to see if they liked it or not. You know, Jan invited me in and said, just let the children play for a minute. For 2 solid hours, they didn't even look at me, just ran off and enjoyed themselves, had a cup of tea in the centre, and it was lovely. And now that they are here for 16 hours a week, I've actually applied to go back to work. So it's been really good for me to gain independence again, to go back to work, while I know that they're safe and they're enjoying themselves.
Obviously having 2 children in the circumstances we're in, and especially with Sophie with her needs, and it can be extremely difficult to coexist, because obviously you're going to have times where you just don't agree on things, and now and again we just need to have that time out to say, right, okay, we're all right, we can just go out now, we'll drop the kids off here, she's looking after him, we'll have some time for ourselves and really reconnect and just sort out our differences, which works beautifully, and we hardly argue at all now because of that, but we did beforehand. So it's I could probably saved our marriage, but there we go.
For many parents of children with additional needs, placing their children into mainstream care ensures that inclusion is more than just a buzzword.
I do think, and I do always say, and I always swear that I'll always only ever put Marcus into mainstream now, having the experience we have, because I think that it encourages a child to believe that they are as worthy as everybody else. Just maybe because Marcus can't walk independently doesn't mean that his mind is affected, do you know what I mean, to socialise. And I have to say that you do need, as a parent, you do need that respite and you do need that support. Had Marcus not come here, I don't know where I would be, maybe still without even a diagnosis.
And underpinning this care is the desire to meet each child's individual needs.
Each child is an individual, and we just have to go with the child once they're here to see what help they need.
That's it, good boy. Off we go. Right trail, that's it, I'm following you.
Le Ballon Rouge Montessori Day Nursery in Southend welcomes children with additional needs and has considerable experience of putting inclusion policy into practice.
We've had various children with additional needs here. We've had autism, Down syndrome, global developmental delay as well. Each child comes unique, actually, because there is such a range. You can't put them into one area, so you have to sort of consider their needs as an individual.
Some children have complex additional needs.
He's not very mobile, he doesn't walk, he can bum shuffle, he can stand in a walker. That's one of his main needs. Also, he can't communicate very well, so the kind of his main needs. His speech is he doesn't talk, and he does communicate by pointing, but not very well, and gets quite easily frustrated as well. So they're his main needs.
So what was the priority when looking for a suitable nursery setting for this child?
Primarily for him, it will give him the social interaction that he needs, and to build his confidence. It also links into kind of building him up. He's quite sensitive to his environment, and I knew that coming here would give him that little bit of boost, that confidence to progress him, really build on his confidence and make him a bit more aware of his environment and what he can do, which will be a lot.
Yay, Lucy! Well done, thank you.
From the setting manager's point of view, how does the nursery help prospective parents decide whether this is the right setting for their child?
We listen to them. I think that's the main thing. We let them have a voice, let them tell us what their concerns are. Matching up a one-to-one with the child is a good thing to do. You have to get the right member of staff working with that child and that family. I think that's ideal, so that they can have a relationship with that person.
Up to the ceiling.
In the case of this little boy, one-to-one support was essential and agreed from the beginning.
Well, the little boy started coming to the nursery with his mother for 1 hour every Tuesday, and he used to just stay with his mother for the whole time. And then we worked trying to separate him from his mother for a while, and he came for about 2 hours, and then it led on to, he started doing really well, and it led on to a 3-hour session We did have a few setbacks, so we're now at the moment back to the 2-hour session again, but without the mother.
If we bend your feet like this.
And from the mother's point of view, having a trusting relationship with the one-to-one carer is central to this crucial first stage of education.
It's really important to have a really good relationship with each other, because it's not easy. Working with a child with special needs, from my own experience, is not easy. So, you know, she can kind of tell me about anything, and, you know, and I've said that to her, and she, you know, we work both ways, and we always make sure by the end of the session we sit down for a good 10 minutes, just talk through what's happened, and any problems she has that she can tell me about, or any issues like that, or all the good stuff as well, which, you know, there is lots of good stuff that happens as well. So we just make sure we talk about everything by the end of the session.
Helping this little boy progress is not all straightforward, but with patience and dedicated one-to-one support, his confidence is growing.
We start with free play in the morning. We have like a free play, and I'm always with him, guiding him, supporting him, giving him, he needs to feel secure. This is the biggest thing for him at the moment, is to feel secure in a different setting with other children around. So it's just giving him that comfort, those hugs when he needs them, to calm him down, try to get him calm, and introduce different toys, and that's what we do, and then circle time, get him to interact with the other children. We do go through stages when he doesn't want anybody near him at all, so that can be very difficult. I've started off now, he's had a little setback, so we've come out of the classroom in free play, where it's quite loud, and he doesn't like loud, unexpected noises, so we've come out of that classroom for the beginning, the first, say, 40 minutes to an hour, and we work with fewer, and then we go into the classroom just trying to sort it out that way, but it depends on his mood.
When caring for children with additional needs, the nursery has access to a wide range of outside specialist support.
Fantastic. They give us lots of training. Anything that we need, we can ask them for, and we can say that we need training in this certain area, and they will try and provide it for us. We have specialists come in that are working with the children, and they work with us as well. We feel well supported.
He's got a brilliant physio, a brilliant occupational therapist and speech therapist. They're all based at the Lighthouse, and I wanted to make primarily sure that they can come in and give Hannah, his key worker, input about how they think will help him here, and the nursery have been brilliant.
And with the support of the setting Senko, an individual education plan has now been drawn up to set development targets.
Every 6 weeks we'll have targets, and we'll go over those targets, and if they've been reached, if we need to set different targets, that's every 6 weeks. That's his individual educational plan.
So what are the outcomes? How is this little boy with complex needs benefiting from his time spent at this setting?
For me, it was about my little boy, and for him to grow in confidence. And I've seen that. I've seen him be able to stand with support, obviously, and do things that, you know, he finds difficult. And for me, that was a huge progressional step for him, to see him sit in a room with other children and relax and play, and which has been brilliant, which is all I can ask, really. So yes, yeah, for me it's been really good.
And what's been the experience of including this little boy in activities with other children?
It's positive, really positive. We find there's a lot of empathy from the other children. They have an instinct. They know that this child has additional needs, and they're caring. We've always had really positive responses from the other children. They look after them. It's lovely to see. It's really lovely to see, and that's why I feel like integration is the best thing to do, really, because they're just accepting.
And for the little boy's mother too, the successful experience of being at this nursery has led to positive developments.
Yeah, I've been able to go back to work, which has been really good. I work locally, and that means having him here can mean that I'm relaxed. I know he's looked after. I know all his needs are catered for, and I don't worry, to be honest. So yeah, I can't ask for any more. Yeah, it's really good.
March round the room. Off we go. March round. That's it. I'm following you. Let's go. Come this way.
And how does the experience of inclusion in this setting help shape his parents' hopes for the future?
Oh, I have huge hopes for him. Yeah, I think that I just hope he can communicate, can walk, and I know that being in a setting like this, he will be given every opportunity. I've got so much hope that he will get there, and he will, and I'm so proud of how far he's come. He's done really, really well and fought against quite hard things. So no, he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and I know he can get there, and I've got so much support and help in place that he will.
Finish. Oh, very good marching. Well done.